channel BGI TV current, especially on the very program you've been waiting for as usual, newspaper headlines today. My name is Morire Rabila Lawal. I'm having the Punch and Vanguard newspaper this morning.
It's a lovely morning as I welcome all our viewers across the globe. My name is Igi Olalekon, and with me I have People's Gazette, The Nation newspaper, Leadership, and Daily Trust.
Alright, if Vanguard is not available for now, let me make use of the one I'm having right with me, the Guardian newspaper. The first rider, Muslim faithful, groan as subsidy removal squeezes family budgets.
And from People's Gazette, Senator snap for 5.7 million internet fraud, EFCC.
Ribadu takes over as NSA, vows to deepen security, stability.
Disco awaits next nod to increase electricity tariff.
And from business angle on the Guardian newspaper, Nigeria, developing countries at risk of deglobalization.
From the Daily Trust, federal government to create 1 million jobs for young Nigerians.
From the outgone president, Muhammadu Buhari, I delayed removal of petrol subsidy for Tinubu, APC to win election, says Buhari.
And going through the leadership, NSA defense chief vows to restore peace in Nigeria.
Alright, let's begin the ride from the Guardian, and the story is, with the recent petroleum subsidy removal which has triggered a fresh spike in food prices, millions of Nigerian Muslims have expressed displeasure at rising deprivation, which they said could ruin Eid al-Kabir for millions of faithful. They complained that while economic hardship has reduced their earnings, the falling purchasing power due to escalating prices has made a mess of their budgets, with many resorting to borrowing or begging to take care of their responsibilities. The celebration is becoming elusive for many faithfuls as they grapple with rising inflation and low purchasing power, which have deprived them of basic needs. And the rider once again, Muslim faithful, grown as subsidy removal squeezes family budgets.
And from People's Gazette, Senator nabbed for 5.7 million internet fraud, EFCC. The Economic and Financial Crime Commission has arrested a fake senator, Ifechukwu Makwe, over alleged 5.7 million internet fraud. EFCC spokesman Wilson Owujare said this in a statement on Monday. According to the statement, Mr. Makwe was arrested in the Guzab area of Abuja following credible intelligence about his internet-related fraud activities. Upon arrest, it was discovered that the suspect, bearing many aliases, Fihad Mukwa, Senator Tompolu, Mukwa defrauded a smeared of 5.7 million, said the EFCC. Mukwa allegedly claimed to be a U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI agent and diplomatic solicitor, succeeded in defrauding his victim using fake identity. The Anti-Graft Commission added the suspect allegedly started defrauding the victim since 2013 when he first met her, and according to the rider, Senator nabbed for 5.7 million internet fraud, EFCC.
Retired Assistant Inspector General of Police Nuhu Ribadu yesterday officially assumed duties as the National Security Advisor, NSA, with a pledge to subdue insecurity and stabilize the country. Nuhu Ribadu took over from Major General Babagana Mongodo, retired, following his appointment by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 19. Ribadu, pioneer chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, was previously appointed Special Advisor on Security to President Tinubu on June 15. However, 4 days later, in an unprecedented shake-up in the country's security architecture, the president retired Monguno as NSA and elevated Ribadu as its replacement. The rider is on the Guardian newspaper. Ribadu takes over as NSA, vows to deepen security, stability in the country.
And from the Nation newspaper, discourse awaits next nod to increase electricity tariff. There is confusion over the purported plan to hike electricity tariff from July. It followed conflicting directive by the distribution company DISCO and the regulatory body. Yesterday, the DISCO clarified that they had not got the approval of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) to hike tariff. Also, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company backtracked on its earlier announcement of a tariff increase, barely 18 hours after it issued a notification. And from the rider, discourse awaits next nod to increase electricity tariff.
And moving on to the next story, coming from The Guardian as well. The story is Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has reiterated the call for re-globalization, saying deglobalization poses an enormous risk to developing countries, including Nigeria. She added that the global prosperity would be adversely affected if trade is allowed to fragment into rival blocs. Speaking at the 13th World Chambers Congress, she told business leaders that the current multilateralism serves global interests, though it needs urgent reform. Held every 2 years, the World Chambers Congress brings together participants from around the world to address common challenges that shape the activities of chambers of commerce and businesses. Coming from the rider, Nigeria, developing countries at risk of deglobalization, from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
And from the Daily Trust, federal government to create 1 million jobs for young Nigerians. Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed the readiness of the federal government to create 1 million jobs in digital world. The Vice President spoke on Monday when he received a delegation from the Republic of Korea, led by the Special Envoy to the President, H.E. Jang-sung, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He reinstated Nigeria's commitment to strengthening relations with the Republic of Korea, especially in promoting trade technology transfer and maintaining global peace. Senator Shettima said, "We are willing to partner with you in the area of technology because by 2030, there will be a 65% global talent deficit with the US, Russia, and Brazil." And from the headline once again, federal governments create 1 million jobs for young Nigerians.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday broke his silence on petrol subsidy removal challenge he left for his successor, saying, had the policy been implemented, the All Progressives Congress APC and Bola Tinubu would have lost the election. In a statement through his former spokesman, Garba Shehu, Buhari, however, commended step by the new administration in removing the subsidy and attempt to unify Naira exchange rate. Shehu said the statement was in response to queries by some critics who have questioned why it took Tinubu only weeks to remove the subsidy, which Buhari didn't do for several years. According to him, successive polls indicated that the ruling party would have lost the 2023 election if the Petroleum Industrial Act containing the petrol subsidy removal was implemented earlier. Coming from Buhari, he had delayed removal of petrol subsidy for Tinubu APC to win election, says Buhari from the Guardian newspaper.
And from the leadership, NSA Defense Chief vows to restore peace in Nigeria. The newly appointed National Security Advisor, NSA Malam Nuhu Ribadu, assumed duty yesterday with a vow to subdue insecurity and stabilize Nigeria. Ribadu took over from former NSA Major General Babagana Mugunu following his appointment by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 19th. This is even as the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, has assured that the Nigerian military under his leadership will restore peace back in the country. Musa's pledge came just as the Ministry of Defense is considering the establishment of Octagon, an industrial military complex. NSA Ribadu said the Tinubu administration has an enormous responsibility of securing Nigeria, stabilizing it and ensuring peace in all parts of the country. And according to the headline once again, NSA Defense Chief vows to restore peace in Nigeria.
And to my first take from the Punch newspaper this morning, it's coming. The People's Democratic Party and its standard bearer in the last election, Atiku Abubakar, are on a collision course with the G5 over the minority leadership in the National Assembly, particularly the Senate. Information lands that the PDP and Atiku have declared support for the ex-governor of Sokoto, Aminu Tambuwal, PDP, Sokoto South, for the minority leadership seats, but the G5 was pushing for Senator Jaribe Cross River North for the same position. Atiku and the G5, comprising Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Former Governor Nyesom Wike Rivers, ex-Governor Samuel Otom of Benue, his colleague in Enugu State Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, and Okezie Ikpeazu Abia have been at loggerheads since the ex-vice president emerged as the party's standard bearer in the last presidential election. While Makinde is still in office for his second and final term, the other members of the G5 have concluded their 8-year tenure. And the writer from the Punch newspaper, Senate Minority Leader PDP Atiku set to clash with G5 over Tambuwa.
And from People's Gazette, Ondo, Tinubu government resumes Buhari's conditional clause, cash transfer payment. The federal government has resumed the payment of 5,000 monthly stipend to 12,337 poor and vulnerable households through digital means in Ondo State. Tosin Olupono, head of the CCT office in Ondo, disclosed this in an interview on Monday in Akure. The CCT program is part of the National Social Investment Program. According to Mrs. Olupono, the backlog has been lodged on each of the beneficiaries' new debit card account that will be accessed through payment agents in their community. She revealed that the benefiting families were from 15 local government areas out of the 18 local government areas in the state. Ms. Olupono attributed the delay in payments to operational issues, adding that the backlog payment was from 6 to 20 months depending on when the beneficiary joins the scheme. And to the rider, Ondo, Tinubu government resumes Buhari's conditional cash transfer payments.
And to the next story from the Punch newspaper, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is scheduled to fly in from London today ahead of Eid al-Kabir celebration. The presidency had on Saturday said the president headed for the UK from France, where he had been attending a summit for a new global financing pact hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. Tinubu, who was initially scheduled to be back in Abuja on Saturday, that's a few days back, will now proceed to London, which he has done in the United Kingdom for a short private visit. A statement signed by the President's Special Advisor on Special Duties, Communication and Strategy, Dele Alake, read on Saturday. However, the statement was silent on the particular day of Tinubu's return, saying the President will be back in the country in time for the upcoming Eid al-Kabir festival. Confirming the day of his arrival, presidency sources told correspondents on Monday that the Nigerian leader would return to his private Ikoyi home in Lagos later on Tuesday today to observe his first Salah celebration as president. The story again, Tinubu returns today, may present ministerial list after Salah.
Now let me take you on this, Moriri. Like one of the headlines you just read. Do we say that, like the statement the former president made, that he purposely left the removal of the subsidy in office? Do we say that it's a gimmick that they use in canvassing to the people just to win their election or something? Because he said that he purposely left the removal of subsidy for the government that will be coming after him. What's your take on that?
Buhari knew exactly how he left the country and how he had ruled the country. And so he knows that there is no joy, there is no smile, no happiness on people's faces. And if he had removed the fuel subsidy as at when he was still the president, definitely the ruling party wouldn't have come out victorious the way he thinks. But we human beings always have the thinking of our own doing when God is the ultimate and supreme over it. I want to believe it does one of the political cards played by former President Muhammadu Buhari. And also, I can agree with him, but to say yes, because the redesigning of new Naira notes was a very bad one, which brought pains, agonies to so many Nigerians with their add-in money, and they were not having access to it. And if you had come out to say fuel subsidy is taken away, when we already knows as a knew that it's just a scam, because ex-Bauchi governor was out on dailies yesterday claiming that one of his associates told him that they had a meeting with outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari that, please, we are tired of money. For you to know how deep in, as in how much pains, how much theft they've done by siphoning this very, very fuel subsidy money and funds. If all of these things were not in existence, what happened to our refineries from working, and about the budget that you keep allocating to these 5 refineries, or more than 5 that we're having in the country, and none is working? So I want to believe it's a big smart card as a politician by Buhari's statement.
Okay, let's take a snap on this headline from the Nation newspaper, where discos are denying, because there was a time they came out and said that they are going to increase the tariff of the electricity. But now they are also coming back to tell the Nigerians that they've not really received the directive, because NEC has really come out to say that no, tariff is not going to increase for now. Then apart from that, do you think the people have really enjoyed the electric or the power supply or things like that, that they will now come to say that okay, by next month or this month ending, the tariff of the power will be increased?
We have the knowledge of what happened when President Muhammadu Buhari, ex-president, was there, and how many times we had a collapse of grid. The worst time ever during an administration was for Buhari. So I wonder, the monthly scorecard that they kept telling us that they are doing, what are they scoring? What's addition? What's benefit? As in, what are the essentials of this scorecard? Buhari's government stands to be the worst administration ever in the history of Nigeria. Because I cannot imagine this same Buhari's administration had a very strong deregulation when it comes to naira to dollar, and also the falling of naira to dollar during the reign of Buhari as the president, and also suspended CBN governor Godwin Emefiele. The naira got worsened to the extent of you saying, is there any value for naira? This light we are talking about, where is the light? At the month end, you bring a very gigantic bill to people that they can't even access the light. They can't even enjoy the light. You expect me to pay for what I'm not enjoying, denying people of their civic rights. These are normal things that even the people in charge of the electricity should have this heart of pity. The big men are not paying these bills. The big men are not paying. Go to some big men's house, some of those politicians, you will see them with 3, 4, 5 transformers in their compound. One compound alone. Aside that, go to their compound and see the likes of all of these giants generating sets, like 3, 4, 5 in one house, when millions are out there without electricity, without power. People grinding pepper, grinding maize in the locals area. Where's the light? And you give them exorbitant bills to pay for. It is such a shameful thing that Nigeria is crippling. Even the Nigerian ship as a whole, if I can say Nigeria is a ship on the sea, it's sinking. It's even going. So I pray to God to bring succor to Nigerians, because average Nigerians are the ones receiving all of these pains. They are always at the receiving end.
Exactly. Okay, Moiri, let me quickly take you on this from the Leadership newspaper. Now, Babagana Mugunu was the former National Security Advisor to the former president. Now, if you are to assess him, what would be your evaluation on his, operation when he was in office, compared to Ribadu that is coming on board, and looking at the past record of Ribadu as EFCC chairman, now comparing him to Babagana Mungunu, what will you say about that?
The likes of Babagana Mungunu, the likes of the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and the likes of every other security chiefs that were sacked or that got sacked, there was no record of a meaningful success from their office and commissions. There was no record. The only record we had from the police command or commission was the dismissals of errant police officers. These are just the records. It's a normal thing to promote officers.
Exactly.
Because when you have done a well-done job, you need to be promoted. But what about those junior officers, their salaries and arrears? What about the dilapidated states of all of the Nigerian police barracks in the country? Only Ogas enjoy good quarters, beautiful buildings and structures and vehicles. Go and check the guns with Nigerian police officers by the roadside. Go and check their uniform. Do they even look agile enough? But they are always there with muscles and powers to intimidate ordinary Nigerians. The only record was dismissals that Ali Usman Baba or Al-Kali gave throughout his time. And he abused the rule of law. He was summoned several times to present himself in the court. He never obeyed that call. And you call him an IGP. All of them, they never respected the law of the land. It's such a shame that even Mongunu, a retired general, where are the experiences? Because he's aged, so they are all gone. There was nothing for those army officers, those gallant officers that faces these insurgents either anywhere in the country. I got a junior when I was in school. He joined the Nigerian army. He got killed after leaving the wife and a baby, a younger baby, few months old baby. We heard nothing from them. Number one, if truly we want to work, we have seen the stories and records. Green, white, green, purest record of Nuhu Ribadu, pioneer chairman of EFCC, who some people came with their macaron and demoted him because he was putting hands in their house, in their eyes and mouths. Nítorí ìjẹkújẹ, àtúbọ̀tán ló wà special July fún ẹ̀dá. When somebody is ready to make a correction, to make something work for the betterment of the country, we should support him, not to tell him to go back home, not to remove him or derank him or demote him. Support this fight against insecurity. Support this fight against corruption. I believe Nuhu Ribadu is a perfect match.
Okay. Just like what you said, that is a perfect match. Now, looking at the rate of terrorism, herdsmen and farmers conflict and the rest of it like that, do you see Nuhu Ribadu as a game changer that will be able to combat or to tackle the current issue or menace of insecurity in the country?
Hearing the name alone is a threat to insecurity. His name alone, Nuhu Ribadu, is a threat to insecurity. Is a threat to many politicians because they know what he's carrying. They know his profile. He's very, very intelligent and smart. He knows what he's there for. And very, very soon, it will be a friction while he lasts in the office. And I pray to God Almighty to support him, to bring out all of these big sacred cows that are stealing from our oil, that are stealing from our national budget planning, especially all of those former ministers. They need to be investigated and arrested. I believe Nuhu Ribadu has come to stay and shame his mockers. That's my take on that.
Okay.
The European Union Election Observation Mission has presented its final report on this year's general elections to the Independent National Electoral Commission. INEC disclosed these on its Twitter handle on Monday. The EU mission was received by the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, and the national commissioners of the electoral body. The European Union Election Observation Mission today presented its final report concerning our election, and the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and national commissioners were on hand to receive the visitors. It shows that the EU had in February 27, 2023 revealed in its report that lack of transparency in the conduct of the 2023 general elections deflated public trust in INEC. It also noted that public confidence in INEC's independence, professionalism, and voter information effort decreased even before February 25. I want to ask the EU, since 1999, when Nigeria begins with, let's say,
move from the military
yes,
to
democracy,
exactly.
which of the elections have we had till date that is different to the one of this year? There is no difference. We should stop deceiving ourselves. There is no difference. Because the people saying Tinubu cannot be president, their own sacred son that they imposed on us said it. The election result that brought him in was never a free and fair. Rest in peace to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, former Nigerian president, now dead. He said it. So if the EU are speaking like this from their own report, fine and good.
But Moriri, my question is this. Okay, if they say that Nigerian election has not been transparent, do we even have any election around the globe that is as perfect as excellent?
Some countries.
Are you sure?
Yes, some countries.
Okay.
They come out to vote their person.
Okay.
Their belief, their choice, and there is no madaru, the way we usually have it as a culture and tradition. To some big wigs and some sacred cows that feels they are untouchable, but they can stand to deny people. But when they were there, nobody was able to deny them. Then they know themselves. Please let people watch this program and see our analysis if our facts are not accurate. Their feedback will surely give us that morale,
exactly,
that ginger,
exactly,
that's nomenclature that yes, we need to improve on this or check our fact findings before coming on air. We are talking within Nigeria, and I believe everything we are talking is original and authentic. So from that side, I want to say that's my story from the Punch. If you have another one there, maybe we should quickly have it.
I quickly want to take us on this headline from People's Gazette. They said Tinubu government resumed Buhari's conditional cash transfer payments. Now, looking at it, before Buhari left office, there was this particular money Nigerian got from the World International Monetary Fund, the $800 million US.
Okay.
Now, which the former president then said that he wants to give to indigenous Nigerians who are less privileged, as in giving them 5,000 naira and things like that. But we never had anything about the money till the government of Buhari left office. But right now in Ondo State, we have the headline whereby they said that this current government has resumed the payment of such money. But we can't really specifically say if this money were gotten from the loan that the former administration got from the IMF or not.
Truth be told, Nigeria remains a country that has no rule of law. And all of these politicians, they are always seeing themselves as a sacred cow that will never turn themselves in when the request call comes. There was a time Buhari issued a particular fund for every state in the country, federal dispensation, like a palliative money.
Okay.
It got to all of these states in the country, and they all changed it from federal to their states-owned palliative measures. The figure to be paid, I think about 3 million to a business-oriented young Nigerian that can benefit from it, and we will see the result of what he can do with the money. It turns out some were paying 150,000, some were paying 300 and something thousand. We always have policy, but to their own benefit, not to Nigerians. We can only hear it. They signed it to their own joy, not to bring succor, smiles and happiness to Nigerians who need this thing for survival. The government does not care about Nigerian youth. They don't care about any policy they bring in, just like the rubber stamp night assembly. They just sign and approve because they already have the knowledge of what they will gain from it. All of this, there was this program introduced by Buhari. So, for how long will these leaders keep stealing our funds? And when they need the votes, they come like ordinary, normal people. And when they get there, they become abnormal with a level of thinking and doings. If truly they are a good representative, they should come back to their local constituency without security, if they will be welcome. Even their conscience will never allow them. The only person I would give regard to and respect to was the first civilian governor of Osun State, late Senator Iseka Adeleke. His AKA is the Gulf. He leaves Abuja almost every Friday for his own country home, NSA. He gets there almost every weekend, and the gates to town is wide open for everyone to come around and relate with him. Tell him whatever you want. How many of them are doing it? And another person again I can vouch for, the former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, because we saw everything he did. He built Osun State. He made Osun State. Aside the state government secretariat built by BC Akonde, since then, nothing exists in Osun State as a whole. Aside that, National Open University, Osun State. Osun State University.
Exactly.
You are building schools, you are building schools, you are building schools. When these students graduated from school,
they need a job.
They need a job. Some that cannot even do anything with their hands, they went into learning a trade or two, just for survival. Where are the supporting measures? This is how far we can go on it. I pray one day Nigeria will go back to what it used to be during the days of Pa Awolowo, which some people cyclone and stole from Nigerians and turn it to their own personal and private investments. A time will come, all of these things will leave it on earth and go into the soil, just like we are equivalent, just a soil as well. So I want to wish all faithful Muslims Eid al-Mubarak, as tomorrow shall be this year's Eid al-Mubarak celebration and festival. And those that have gone from one place to the other to find a solution to getting rams concerning the fuel subsidy removal, which brought about the dissatisfaction as concerned the prices of rams, I tell you, so far you're still alive. Live your life as minimal to what you can afford. Almighty God will make sure that this will never be the last. And those in Mecca, I pray to God Almighty to accept their prayers. And we in this house, in this studio this time, and those watching us, I pray to all faithful Muslims that Eid al-Mubarak, and may we celebrate many more, inshallah. My name is Morire Rebila Lawal.
I believe it has been a great time taking you through the dailies for the day. If you enjoy it for today, please kindly join us again when we come on board. My name remains Ige Olalekon, and like a saying, we are nothing but pencil in the hands of our maker. So yes. You take things easy as we celebrate Eid al-Mubarak. Yes. Bye.